Students have many responsibilities that they must attend to. Will Carlisle has some tips on how to manage stress. And has TikTok really been saved? Emily Baldwin has the details in today's Talent Talk. Recently, Dr. Holly Ferguson was appointed superintendent.
The Prosper community has been absolutely outstanding. Our kids, our staff, our leaders in the district, and the PISD school board have made this an extremely easy transition, and I feel extremely fortunate to be here.
Her mission, later in the show.
Live from Studio 301 at Prosper High School, this is Eagle Nation News.
Good morning, Eagle Nation, and thank you for joining us. Today is Friday, September 18th. I'm Julia Bizion.
And from 6 feet away, I'm Mithra Kama.
Earlier this week, the Air Force revealed that they were secretly working on a new fighter jet for about a year. Now, we don't know much about the jet's capabilities, but we do know that it could replace the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. This prototype is especially significant because a record was set for the quickest development of a jet, just 1 year.
As Hurricane Sally slowly moves across the south, it is drenching and destroying everything in its path. Florida and Alabama are experiencing 105 miles per hour wind with rain amounts measured in feet. It is not expected for this hurricane season to end for another 2.5 months.
Every year, the State Fair of Texas holds the Big Tex Fair Food Choice Awards. However, this year's will look just a little different. The 2020 contest will be held between the previous 32 winners. The first 5 rounds of voting open Tuesday, and this year's winner will be announced on the State Fair Facebook page on October 15th. To vote, visit bigtex.com/madness.
Some students at Prosper High School have jobs on top of their schoolwork and extracurricular activities. Ridge Daniel spoke with one senior on how he maintains a healthy work-life balance.
Many students here at Prosper High School have jobs outside of school. This can pose a challenge when it comes to striking a healthy work-life balance between school, work, extracurriculars such as basketball, and their personal life. Miguel Gutierrez is a Prosper High School senior that has been working at Ernesto's for 2 years. He is one of many Prosper High School students with jobs outside of school. Miguel, along with other employed students, have to manage their work-life balance in order to stay successful in their classes and job.
In order to stay on top of school and my job, I make sure to do homework at school as much as I can. When it comes to my personal life, I still find myself hanging out with friends and family, but that time I could be spending with them is a lot shorter because of work. It's not always easy, but it is possible to strike a healthy work-life balance that will allow one to succeed. I'm Ridge Daniel, reporting for Eagle Nation News.
Well, I know myself, along with many other students, have tons of responsibilities. We have our schoolwork, I'm in extracurriculars, we have jobs, so it's really difficult and sometimes stressful to find that good balance between your work and your social life, and I think that's really important to talk about.
I agree. I admire people who have the work ethic to do so many things at once.
Absolutely. If you haven't been keeping up with sports this week, then we have tons of news for you. Hockey fans and football fans, you'll want to listen up for this Game Time Sports Update with Caden De La Garza.
Thanks, Julia. First off, congrats to our boys 200-meter freestyle relay for the breaking the school record this week. And other success, our Dallas Stars have moved on to the Stanley Cup Finals and will be sharing the ice with the Tampa Bay Lightning, hopefully getting to hoist up the trophy for the first time since 1999. And speaking of the Stars, we all know that the start of the NFL season was last weekend, but sadly the Dallas Cowboys disappointed with a lackluster defense, but the offense was clicking with all 3 wide receivers having over 50 yards. Speaking of the wide receivers, rookie CeeDee Lamb came up to the high school to catch a pass from varsity quarterbacks Harrison Rosar and Jackson Berry last weekend. Next week on the 25th at Eagle Stadium, you'll see the two in action when Prosper Eagle takes on Prestonwood Lions in the season opener. But tonight, we have our ladies Eagle volleyball team traveling to Flower Mound to play against Marcus at 7:30, and the boys and girls tennis team this afternoon at 4:30. And let's bounce back to Mithra at the desk.
Stress is a common issue that many high school students deal with. Will Carlisle has more information about handling stress.
School is back in session at Prosper High, and many students are starting to find it difficult to keep up with all of their schoolwork.
Just deep breathe and just take a deep breath and let it out slowly. And and you may want to spend a few minutes just doing that. And that kind of helps settle the nerves, settle the heart rate, and kind of gives you a chance just kind of maybe even refocus in those few minutes.
Some additional tips for handling stress at school include making sure you are ready for the next day of school with any work you might have to turn in. or making a plan beforehand for what to do if you get stressed.
Maybe try to focus on maybe if there's some little trigger that keeps setting it off, see if you can pinpoint what that thing might be. You know, always know that students are welcome to come in here and talk to any of us counselors, you know, whether it be your alphabet counselor or if they're not available, there's always someone here.
Tips for handling stress are beneficial to everyone, considering that stress can be found in almost any job you do. I'm Will Carlisle reporting for Eagle Nation News.
Users of the beloved video sharing app TikTok are in for a disappointment. But one of your favorite Netflix stars is competing on a fan favorite show that might just be a smidge out of our comfort zone. Emily, can you explain to us what's going on with TikTok right now?
Well, Julia, as of September 20th of this year, TikTok was set to be banned in the United States under Trump's executive order unless an American company purchased the app before the deadline. This week, the American-owned company Oracle was in talks to reach a deal with TikTok. However, as of today, it was reported that starting this Sunday, TikTok will no longer be downloaded in the U.S. As of right now, November 12th, it will become illegal for anyone in the U.S. to use the app. For now, Instagram Reels is picking up with TikTok star Charli D'Amelio joining the platform and bringing her dances to Instagram. Speaking of dancing, Dancing with the Stars kicked off this week with new contestants, one of them being Carole Baskin from Tiger King. She performed to Eye of the Tiger and received the lowest score of the night, an 11 out of 30. If you watch Tiger King, you know that Carole Baskin is suspected of killing her ex-husband, Don Lewis. His family aired a 35-second commercial during Dancing with the Stars, offering $100,000 to anyone with information on the case. Did you watch Tiger King during quarantine? We set up a poll on our Instagram at Eagle Nation Network and our Twitter at Eagle Nation News, so don't forget to check it out. Next up, Sailor Jane McKenzie is in studio with Coach Cooper to talk about National Suicide Prevention Month on our new segment, The Perch. Good morning, Eagle Nation, and thank you for tuning in to The Perch. I'm your host, Sailor Jane McKenzie, and joined with me this morning is Coach Cooper. Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm great this morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Now, you are one of the biggest advocates for suicide prevention and awareness. Tell me, when was it that you realized this sort of thing goes unnoticed and it's not talked about enough?
We started noticing in society, especially in our community, and the ISD as well, that there was something missing. You know, we covered all the, we're great in academics, we're great in our extracurricular activities, all those type of things, but that one piece that we were missing was the mental health part for our students in our community. So between Dr. Watkins, Dr. Ferguson, and several parents that were in the community that really reached out and did some research for us, we found the Hope Squad. And we found that it was a really good program that we wanted to bring in that would bring in that other piece that we were missing to help boost our students' morale, but also their success and keep them from making decisions that we may not want to make, for that be with self-harm or thoughts and depression, because that's the leading cause right now of sickness in the world, actually. So that's our goal, to bring that in to help try to fix some of those issues and try to give people tools and ways to get around and help that.
Absolutely. And do you find that oftentimes kids sort of stray away from that type of conversation and avoid it, or what's your take on that?
Kids, a lot of times there's a big stigma about that, right? That there's something wrong with you, that you're weird or odd. But the one thing we did find we liked about this program is that kids talk to other kids, and they do tell each other those type of things, but a lot of times they won't ever tell an adult. So that's the great thing about this program that's brought in. It's teaching kids how to have those tools to recognize the warning signs and get those people help that they need, and start breaking down that wall of stigma that they normally wouldn't talk to an adult about.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I've loved speaking with you.
Just ma'am, appreciate it.
Moving alongside suicide prevention and awareness, be sure to tune in a week from now to learn more about Prosper's very own awareness program, Hope Squad. Coming into a pandemic is an intimidating role. Dr. Holly Ferguson tells us how she does it.
In this time of COVID-19, Dr. Ferguson stepped in as superintendent. Dr. Ferguson said this was a very smooth transition for her. Her main focus is safety for her students and staff.
So the main thing I think that we have talked about as leaders in the district is the importance of connecting in relationships, because in this time of COVID-19, it's really easy to get isolated or feel lonely. And so we have to just really kind of put some things that we would typically be doing right now to the side and really focus in on our people.
Becoming superintendent this year was an unexpected surprise for Dr. Ferguson.
And I was asked to make a statement when I was named the superintendent, and one of the things that I said in that is that the only job I ever set out to do was to be a teacher, which I still am going to say true to that. I never went to school to say, hey, I think I want to be a superintendent. I did obviously take classes to be a superintendent and get the degrees to be a superintendent, but really all I ever wanted to do was teach. And so I really think of my role as the superintendent as not the boss or the head person, but really the lead teacher.
For Eagle Nation News, I'm Zach Manning.
That's all for today, Eagle Nation. I'm Mithra Kama.
And I'm Julia Bizone. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.